took off the tank, it gives us enough room to work with the cables. Since we're gonna do the clutch cable right now, that's gonna be the hardest one to take off just because it runs under the tank. Okay, so for this, we're gonna need a pair of snips, a little flat. Okay, this is just so we can release clips and zip ties on our way. And we're gonna use a 12mm socket so we can open wrench so we could open and loosen up the adjustment bolt for the clutch. This is the actual clutch right here, where the cable connects to. Could you guys see that? And then there's a zip tie that's in my way. You won't have that zip tie there on yours most likely because that is for the power commander unit that we installed on this bike a while back. So I remember now that I actually zipped that in there. And right here, this one's just, we gotta just break it loose. It's a little clamp that locks the actual cable. Okay, but we don't need the snips so we could snip that cable up there. And as we go, we just keep kind of going through. The factory zip ties are pretty damn good. You could just pull on the little tab, and it loosens up. You don't have to cut them off. Okay. So let's just continue from here. The next step from here, we're gonna go ahead and this one's a little stubborn, so we will cut this one off. Okay. So now our cable's ready to go, but we gotta go in this from the bottom and from the top. All right, so here we are. We're gonna loosen up our adjuster bolts that also hold the actual cable. Okay. Use one open wrench to hold up one side and one to loosen up the counter. Loosen up that bottom bolt. That allows you to slide the actual cable off. If it gets a little stubborn, what we want to do, also if you can see up at the bottom, we're gonna take this little tab that's there that holds the actual end of the cable locked in, and then you kind of, when we get this guy loosened up, we can actually then slide it down so it could pull off the actual cable. This kind of sucks because I'm bending over here. Take the zip tie. It's always easier when you're not recording. Okay. There you go. See, it released it. Just, you're gonna have to reconnect that to that spot, right? Which is for your clutch. And then from here, we just move to, now it's loose, we just move to the top. Make sure you loosen up the adjustment here, the bolt, so you can be able to remove it. You want to always just loosen up that clutch cable as much as you can. Get it to where you have the two openings here, so you can be able to slide the cable out, flick it around, and wedge it, pull it down. So there's the cable's off, and then we got now install the new one the same way, just the reverse. Okay. All right, guys. Well, now we showed you how to take it off. To install is very simple. It's just a reverse process. You know, slide it through the opening, turn it so it doesn't pop out. Right. You're gonna actually adjust this once you're done. So right now, don't worry about that. Just make sure it stays in. Run the cable through its original path. See, clips right in. Push it down and under. It hooks right here because the tank goes over the top. See, and this kind of keeps everything in its position. This is one of the zip ties that I actually have to cut off factory ones. I'll replace it with a new one. Cable keeps going. It's got its position little hooks to go through. This one will replace it with a brand new one. Come back around. Make sure you're in. You hook, click. This one slides down. Now you're gonna see it starts pulling from the top, and then it's gonna get a little bit more stubborn to get the bottom part in, but that's okay. Okay, you're gonna be able to do it just as simple as I will once I get this all set up. But the final adjustments are the main thing we gotta do. Next, you pull it up. Did you see? Just the exhaust kind of gets in the way, but lock it. Put the little tab so it doesn't fall out. Already bent it up. Now you come up Open up your adjustments. And you slide it under. So you're able to grab it, pull it, wiggle a little bit. It'll get in there. Hold on, give me one sec. Okay. Pretty much want to have everything set like right in the middle, okay, for the bottom. You don't want it too tight because you want to make sure this is centered as far as play. Let's give it a little bit more. There's the top one. Gets a little cut, then you just kind of turn it, right? With your 12. Leave it kind of loose. Let's go to the top. We gotta leave a 1/8 of a play in here. And look, it's almost there. Honestly, that means I want to have, come over here, I want to make sure that at least I have this adjustable out more so that I have some slack so when it gets tight. So that means that I need to loosen it up more on the bottom. Okay, so I already loosened up the bottom a little bit more on the adjuster nuts so that I could get this bolt to come out, right? Because I want to be able to adjust as the clutch gets tighter on the fly from the top, not from the bottom with the 12s, you see? So all I want about 1/8 play right here. So the cable is not, so as soon as you feel the pull right there, that's it. Okay, and you're set. And then you just adjust your counter nut. That's perfect. Okay, adjust this one, and you're set. That's a clutch install for you guys. Okay, off of this situation right here, that's how you do your clutch install. It could be just a stock replacement cable. It could be a +10 like this one. It doesn't matter, exactly how you would do it on a Bolt. Adjusting from the bottom to the top, you're good to go. Next step from here, we're gonna go ahead and show you how to replace the throttle cables on this 2016 Yamaha Bolt. Stay tuned. All right, guys, well, this is the end of the video for how to remove and install the clutch cable on the 2016 Yamaha Bolt. It's pretty much the same for all of them. And at the same time, if you need to see how to remove the fuel tank in order to access the clutch cable, please watch my part 1 video, which will show how I remove the actual tank to actually have access to everything else. Okay, so that'll work for my part 2. You need to go watch, which is going to be my part 2 video, will be the throttle cables. We're going to remove them, replace them with the longer ones, okay? And it'll also work for even stock throttle cables replacement if they get damaged. It'll be the same thing. Now, if you need to see how to remove the tank, again, go back to my number 1 video, first one, and you'll be able to see how to remove the tank first, and then come back to our number 2 video, which will be right now coming up, which is throttle cable removal.